Hello.
Hi, Aldo.
Hello, Stuart. Hello, Michelle.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining us at ESC Fan TV today.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's great to see you, and it's good to see you back. Really good to see you back.
Yeah, I never thought I would be back, to be honest. I mean, with COVID and everything, and seeing what happened last year with Eurovision and everything. So
I know we're going to get into that, absolutely. But anyway, for those who are just joining us, welcome to ESC Fan TV. We are delighted today to have Aldo Blaga from Romania's Selecția Națională. Did I pronounce that correct, Aldo?
Selecția Națională, no problem. I mean,
thank you very much. I'm known for kind of butchering different national final names. So anyway,
it's good that you're trying.
I'm trying. Aldo's back from Romania. We're delighted to see him. Today we're going to talk to him about his experiences in 2019. We're going to talk about his great song Embers that's going to be released as part of the Romanian selection this year. But I'd just like to introduce Michelle. Hey, Michelle.
Hello. Hello, Aldo.
Good to see you. Let's take you back. Let's take you back to 2019.
Trip down memory lane.
It's a trip down memory lane, absolutely. Yeah. And before pandemic, when Eurovision was good and pure, and we last saw you in Romania in 2019 as part of the Selecția Națională second semi-final, with your song "Your Journey." Let's take a listen.
This is the way your journey starts today for everybody. Today is the first day of the rest of your lives. Make it count.
Absolutely, make it count. Aldo, that was such a great song, and you won the second semi-final from a televote perspective.
Yeah.
Tell me about your experiences there. How do you reflect on 2019?
It was a roller coaster. I mean, let me give you some context. The whole idea for the song was actually let's do a song that is kind of like a tribute to my late dad, and your journey is inspired from everything he taught me as a father and as a human being, as a person I got the honor to grow up next to, having it on Eurovision, I mean, in Eurovision, in the selection was like, let's see how far it could go or something like that. It was just a try. Let's try it out. We have nothing to lose. So having it to actually be selected and getting all the way to the final and coming out, I think it was on the 10th spot in the final. And you know what a selection we had in 2019 was crazy. I mean, crazy good. I mean, it was unbelievable. For the first time, I think, in 3 years after Yodel It, in my personal opinion, I think it was one of the best selections, if not the best, since 2017. So we really hoped and thought that Romania would do good in 2019. But as we all know, it didn't turn out that way. So tough luck, I guess, because it's also about luck and also about a lot of things. A lot of things have to go right for for a country in Eurovision to win, or at least get a very high percentage of votes. But I mean, for me personally, it was one of the best experiences, if not the best experience, in my 5 years of existing on this beautiful planet.
So since 2019 then until now, apart from being locked down, what else have you been up to?
Actually, it's a very funny thing. In 2020, I went back to the States to do a couple of shows, and I actually got locked down right at the beginning, and I got stuck in Chicago for 3 months, all by myself in a one-bedroom apartment. I started, reading, singing, watching movies, anything I could just to, make time pass faster. I started plane spotting because I literally had no clue when I'll be able to come back to Romania. So 3 months went by and I finally got back to Romania. So then I started getting into agriculture because music was dead in the water, so to speak. Any form of entertainment, I mean, was kind of, besides YouTube and you know, virtual reality, as I like to call it. But I'm kind of like a hands-on type of guy, and I like to get involved into as many things that kind of develop my personality, develop my character and my person in general. So I started doing some agriculture. Actually helped out a friend of my mom's who's got this agriculture farm, so to speak. He works the fields, plants wheat and corn and everything. I went in a bit into that. Then I started singing again in 2021, very shyly, so to speak. And I'm looking forward to 2022. I mean, we started off with a banger with the fact that I got selected with the Embers, and I want to thank Linda and Ylva for the opportunity they gave me. And as I like to say, this song chose me. I had like a list of 25 odd songs or something like that, and Embers just clicked right from the start. It was originally arranged for a female voice, and then we did some modifications, and I think it turned out great. I mean, I feel that this message is a universal message, like Eurovision is a universal contest, and it's meant not just for, I don't know, one particular section of people, but for everyone. So
yep.
Why not sing for everyone with a universal message?
Absolutely agree.
Yeah,
absolutely agree. So you mentioned there about lockdown and sort of the challenges artists have been through. It's been a really challenging year for a couple of years for Eurovision as well. Of course, we had the 2020 Eurovision Song Contest cancelled. And last year in 2021, it went ahead, but primarily without fans. There were a few there, but it was a different Eurovision.
It was a sad moment.
It was kind of weird watching it on television for the first time for a while, because a lot of us on ESC Fan TV like to go to the contests, and it's kind of about embracing the community as it is being a part of the music itself. But Eurovision in general, how's it perceived these days in Romania? You started off in 1994. You've been going strong over the years. You've had some kind of near misses, really. You've nearly won it a couple of times. But today, how's it perceived?
Well, I'm sort of new to the whole thing. This is my second time, but I've watched Eurovision on and off throughout the years, and never really, I never really thought of it as a contest. It's more like a showcase of talent, showcase of songs, of creative prowess, of just culture trends, let's say, because it's also about cultures and the way each country portrays its own idea of, I don't know, I guess what it feels is what they need to transmit as far as message goes. So I don't know. In Romania right now, I think we're kind of skeptical about the importance of Eurovision, and that's mainly because we don't have, personally, I think, the drive to actually take this contest, so to speak, seriously. And why why do I say that? Because first of all, because our talents, usually all the singers in Romania, the composers, the producers, they kind of try to focus only on radios, on TV shows, on getting as many hits out as possible. And as you and all the Eurovision fans know, Eurovision songs tend to generally not be very radio friendly, aside from Euphoria and a couple of others. But you need to have a certain, I think, pedigree to participate in Eurovision. And I think Romania started good. They kept on going very, very well up to 2010, 2011, something like that. And then I don't know what happened. I think everybody got focused more on radios and making hits, making a name for themselves internationally, not necessarily through Eurovision, which for me as a composer is a very good, maybe the best in the world right now at the moment. The American Song Contest hasn't started. So
We're very excited about that, by the way.
Yeah, me too.
Very
I can't wait to
excited.
see. I can't wait to see what happens. I mean, yeah, Romania is still 94. That would be like what, 20 something years old now. 20 something. It's still post teenage, slowly starting to get the hang of it. It's still kind of a baby as far as Eurovision goes. We've had some successes, some great songs and moments at Eurovision, but I think all in all we just need to grow a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
culturally.
It's a good job you didn't get stuck in Chicago for longer, or you could have entered the American Song Contest.
But my visa was expiring, so that was kind of it was kind of tough.
Aldo.
Yeah.
Aldo, who's your favourite Eurovision artist ever and why?
Ever.
Yeah.
It's a tie. It's a tie between a lot of names, and right now I can only think of obviously Paula Selling, our own, and Ovi. They were amazing, and also Mihai Trăstariu. Also, let's put in here Sanna Nielsen. Let's put in here Loreen. I loved Conchita Wurst. I even loved Paul Newman, because everybody is coming on and saying Embers is gonna flop like Paul Newman's Embers, but I loved his confidence, I guess, on stage.
Yes,
and he said, I think he knew that song wouldn't do well, but he sang the hell out of that song, and hats off to that guy. I mean, wonderful. And there's a lot of, I mean, every single artist that gets on the big stage in the semifinals, even on the big Eurovision stage, deserves to be there, and good for them. I mean, you can't really have favorites once you see that they get through a national selection, especially, and so many people are vouching for them.
Thank you, Aldo. And I'm glad you mentioned our entry last year, the UK's entry, Embers, because how could we get through this interview without mentioning that? So thank you.
Especially that my song is Embers. Like
exactly. We're not actually gonna ask you any more questions on that, but thank you for bringing that to this interview. That's great to hear. We're desperately trying to forget last year and move on quickly.
Don't. No.
Aldo wants to buy 2 great big white trumpets for his stage. I mean,
he should get a brooch or something with 2 trumpets.
But he was such a great guy, and it was such a pity. But hey, that's Eurovision. That can happen. That can happen to anyone.
I know. You just have to put a stiff upper lip and just move on.
Yeah, and he was great at that. So thank you for bringing that. Romania, though, but we're just going to finish on Romania for a bit, I think, in terms of, because Romania have come close a couple of times.
Very close.
And I remember Mihai from 2006, and there's been some great entries. Paula Selling, couple of great entries there.
Luminița Angel.
Yes, Let Me Try, fantastic entry. What have Romania? But in the last few years, Romania haven't come that close. But what have Romania got to do do you think to start to edge back towards a potential first win? And it'd be great to come over.
I think it's a mentality thing. We just don't believe that much in being able to get there. We either need to take the example from Ilinca and Yodel It.
Yep.
They had fun. You could feel the fun. You could feel the chemistry. They had nothing to lose. They sang as if there's nothing to lose. And this is, I think, the main and maybe the only secret that you need. Look at Maneskin. Did they think they have anything to lose? They just sang their hearts out, poured their every ounce of talent they had onto that stage. No matter that the band was doing playback, it doesn't matter. You need to show the people that you are happy, that is your moment, that is your you could die the very next second, but you know you died doing the thing you love, and that's all that matters. I think that's what people want to see. They want to see artists pouring their heart out, because that's what art is all about in the end. And I think we need to believe in ourselves more. In Romania, there's this perception that if you go onto the big stage, the big international stage with any kind of performance, be it sports or the arts, you have sort of like a stage fright kind of feeling. What will people say? What do I wear? How can I make like the best impression I can? No, don't. Just forget about these things. Just be yourself. Try to cultivate the idea that you need to let yourself be seen the way you are, and just go with it. Just own up to it.
I love that. Love that.
Yeah, maybe you should be in charge of like the Romanian selection committee.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe they'll elect me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Fingers crossed.
Well, you never
know. You never know.
Everyone needs a backup plan.
Yeah. If not, I'll start making interviews. I like this.
Aldo, we're aware that not only do you sing, but you're also a saxophonist.
Yeah.
We were wondering, have you ever had to make a choice between singing or playing the saxophone?
It's like this is like, for me at least, it's like making a choice between the left or the right leg. I mean, on what do I walk today? Let's walk only on the right leg. No, you can't do it. Saxophone and clarinet. Actually, I have a master's degree in clarinet playing, and the saxophone was like a natural transition from the clarinet. Clarinet, you can kind of only do klezmer or classical music or classical ensembles, and I really wanted to transport the fact that I can play a woodwind instrument into my pop ideology of music. I mean, pop, swing, whatever. I love jazz. I love all the the Great American Songbook, as they call it, all the great classics. Actually, before the interview, just to waste time, I started singing even Keane, Coldplay, U2, Elton John songs, just to pass the time. So this is my pedigree, so to speak. I grew up with these songs, with these artists, and the saxophone was always kind of like a little beacon at the end of the tunnel that I tried to reach. And finally, in 2016, I reached it, and I never let go of it ever since. I even incorporated it in all my shows, and who knows, maybe even with Embers, I'll do something with the saxophone.
That would be amazing, because I saw your performance of Careless Whisper on the X Factor, where you brought the sax in at the end.
Too bad of the sound, because of the sound. The sound wasn't on par with what I wanted to do. But I mean, and also keep in mind that I've been studying the saxophone before that performance for only 2 months, like before getting on stage with it. So it was a challenge for me, and I never expected it to get that far. I thought I'm gonna go on the auditions and maybe that's it. But I got into the boot camp, so I'm really grateful for that. It was an awesome experience, and I kind of fulfilled my dream of playing the sax on the X Factor, because nobody has ever done it in Romania with the sax on the X Factor. So I was the only one so far.
Amazing. Well, that's it. It makes you stand out. People notice what you're doing. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Thank you.
Well, apart from your career as a performer, you're also a volunteer at the Selecția Down charity in Romania.
Yeah.
Is that something that's very close to your heart?
I've had many charity events that I volunteered for. I don't know what experience you or our viewers have had with this spectrum of people, be it Down syndrome or Asperger's or autism or whatever. But for me personally, seeing the amount of love, the amount of unconditional love, unconditional happiness, and just gratitude towards life and the people surrounding them, that for me was like a drug, and I had to get that drug as many times that I could, and in any shape or form I could reach out to people that wanted to do events, charity fundraisers for these kids and for these people. I wanted to get in on that. And actually I have an album out. It's called About Love. You can find it online everywhere. The whole album is dedicated to somehow gaining some funds and helping these people out. And I've been a very active philanthropist, so to speak, and I've helped a lot of centers out. I've actually even had a collab with how should I pronounce this? It's something that has to do with domestic violence here in Romania. It's towards more towards the women, but also men. There's a lot of men who have been abused in relationships, and I also did a few charity events for them. So I tend to try to give back to the community as much as I can.
That's absolutely amazing.
It really is.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
So let's turn our attention to your song this year.
Yeah.
So you're competing in the Romanian semi-finals. We are willing you along. We're looking forward to cheering Embers along. And let's have
with or without sax. I mean, no saxophone, or it doesn't matter to you.
With or without, we can do with or without sax. But let's have a little listen to Embers.
When the fire is embers, all I'm gonna remember
So wonderful.
Horrible song.
So that was co-written by friends of ESC Fan TV, Ylva and Linda Persson. How did you come to collaborate with them?
I'll be as frank as honest as I can be. They just wrote me an email, sent me a bunch of songs, like 20-something songs. I started to listen to each and every one of them. It was a very lazy one afternoon before, I think it was the 7th or 8th of December. So it was kind of 10 days before the deadline or something like that, before we had to submit the songs for the competition. And I just sat down. I listened to it. It was originally arranged for a female voice. I liked it, but I said this maybe could be turned into some sort of rock ballad, something more powerful, more not so Disney-esque, more like, towards the rock spectrum. And I started recording. I actually have a small home studio. The voice you hear on the song in the official demo is actually recorded in my living room with just the microphone and headphones, and that's it. And I'm amazed it came out so well. But I have all the thanks to give to Rickard Bonde, I think is Bonde Truumeel, who is one of the composers and producers. He did an amazing job, mixing everything in and giving it the sound that it has. And be warned, I warned you, it's going to sound even more amazing on the live sessions because we worked on it. I don't want to release any revamped version before getting to the live shows, just because I just want to keep people in suspense and just make that my moment.
You've given us a little teaser of what we're going to expect when it comes to the competition. Yeah,
maybe I told you, I don't know what I'll do with the sax. Maybe I'll put it in, maybe not. Maybe we'll have a Careless Whisper moment, Careless Embers moment. I don't know.
Careless Embers.
You don't want Careless Embers.
Careless Embers. No, we don't want to burn anything down. That's for sure.
You touched before what Embers was about. Would you like to just elaborate just a little bit about how
we didn't modify any of the lyrics. Yeah. The original lyrics are written by Charlie Mason, who also wrote the lyrics for Rise Like a Phoenix, just FYI. So I felt we don't need to change the lyrics, although there are some, as people have pointed out, there are some grammar issues with the fire. When the fire is embers, it's kind of, it's a little forced. But I like the message, like the essence of the message, that you need to live the moment. You need to let go of every preconceived idea you may have about the future. We do not know the future. We can only make plans about it. We can dream about it, but we can never know for sure. Yeah. We can't change the past. So all we have is the here and the now. And that is what the song is about. And it's not even about love between, people. It's not for me, at least this is how I feel, and I felt it from the very beginning. It's a song. It's a universal message about living the moment and being in the moment, being mindful, living the moment. So that's all I can say about that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Aldo. And sure. Looking forward to the competition.
Me too.
What would it mean for you to win this time around and go on to represent Romania at Eurovision this year in Turin?
Let's do a little imagination exercise. What would it mean to you if you got to represent your country at this type of show? Could you really have a response to this? Because no.
Not live on air, no. I don't think I could. I'm not sure I could get away with it, but
maybe get a couple of drinks in and then let you.
Yeah. I'd have to research sequin gowns and things like that. Because that high
me too.
Priorities.
I would go absolutely nuts if they would elect. I think I would just faint on stage and just take a very, very deep, long breath and wonder what I've done so right in my life that I got this opportunity.
Or thinking beyond Selecția Națională and hopefully Eurovision, we just talked about. What's next for Aldo Blaga? What should we expect?
I'm curious if the American competition will accept foreign entries.
You would consider that then, yeah?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Actually, another little trivia bit. actually auditioned for America's Got Talent back in 2019, right before the pandemic. Then the pandemic happened, and I don't know if that's the reason I didn't get through the selection or not. Maybe they thought it's going to be very difficult to, fly contestants from Europe or something. And they didn't know I would get stuck in March again in Chicago, so the filming already started and everything. But I always thought and believed that my place is anywhere they make great music and anywhere they appreciate great music. I don't sing any type of genre. I don't listen to any type of genre. As opposed to many of my fellow artist friends and in general musicians, they tend to listen to everything and have a very universal opinion, so to speak, or very unbiased opinion about music in general. But I tend to know what resonates and feels good to me, and tend to listen and sing only those kind of those types of songs or genres. So America has always appealed to me beyond the music scene, also, or how should I put this? Their mentality. Let's just say
the culture and lifestyle.
The culture and lifestyle, exactly. I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with the Eastern Bloc, the way, and I told you a little bit about our vision when we get to an international stage. How am I dressed? What do people think about? All these things. These are kind of built into every Eastern European, and we have a very, very hard time letting all those preconceptions go, all that prejudice, And that's what I loved about America, about the U.S., and about, in general, the Western part of the world, so to speak. They're much, much, much more self-aware, much more
they're a bit more
at liberty to be themselves.
Yes, yeah. It's a bit more open, and you can get away with more. You don't have to be careful of what you're saying so much as what you're doing.
I think that's what Eurovision is about: tolerance and acceptance and freedom of kind of everything. I think nobody's gonna put you down for coming on Eurovision and singing about bananas. I saw some song from, I don't know, Norway or Finland, or the wolf eating a bananas. Nobody's gonna say anything like, okay, sing that song. I mean, go for it. Own up to it. Show us that you can make a show with that song. This is what Eurovision is about, and it's what it's always been about, I think.
Would you consider then representing a different country in Eurovision if you would go to America? Would you, if we came nothing, would you go, yeah, okay?
First of all, I don't think that the Americans will allow foreign entries, because from what I've seen, they only allow. It's going to be like a battle between the states of America. So, but if they do accept, participants, I could, for sure go as representing Romania or.
I meant in Eurovision.
Culture.
If another European country came to you and said, Aldo, we've got a song for you, what do you think?
Sure.
Would you do it? Yeah.
No problem. I don't believe as much in borders as I believe in, the heritage every nation has. We should, draw a very, very distinct line between being patriotic and nationalistic and being open-minded and kind of accepting that you need to find a gap, a bridge between cultures, and Eurovision is a bridge between all the different cultures and all the different music genres and everything. So I would gladly represent any country if the song, first of all, if the song speaks to me and if I feel a connection, if I feel that I'm able to sing it and deliver that message to the best of my ability, then please. My email is open.
Some of the UK's best ever entries have been sung by Americans and by Australians. We last won in 1997. It's that long ago, and it was.
Well, at least you won. At least you won.
Well, that's true, but it was Katrina and the Waves, and Katrina is, of course, American. So, I agree with you entirely.
What can you do?
Yeah, exactly. Aldo, it's been so amazing chatting to you. We're so looking forward to seeing you on stage. Do you have one final message for your fans, but also the fans of the song?
Like I said at the beginning, just seize the moment, seize the day. This is the first day of the rest of your life, so you have to make it count. You have to make every moment count. this is what Embers is about. It's about love, but it's about actually being able to see and feel and live that love in every single moment of your lives.
Aldo, thank you so much for joining us, and
thank you for having me.
We look forward to keeping our fingers crossed for you on stage.
And I look forward to the next interview after I think on the 9th and the 10th of February. No. On the 9th and the 10th of February, it's going to be like the first live performances will be up. So we can have a chat after those.
We can definitely do that. We'll stay in touch.
Looking forward.
Keeping a close eye on your progress.
Sure.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.